Oh, this ain't Chase. Complain to corporate. The problem is I really need to send this money out. You know? I really need to send this money out. Today's the 12th. I have to send it out today. It's okay, we'll make it fun. It's suspenseful. Yeah, I mean, I had to get the one banker that was worth $100 million, you know? Dude, okay, let's be honest here. It would have been way funnier. It would have been way funnier if she had said, oh, just $3 million? No, we don't have a banker open for that. We don't have a banker open for that, sir. Maybe next week. Then she could go into the break room and go, got him. All the tellers laughing, banker. Sir, the credit union is down the street. You see, Snowy, you always make it take longer because then you open less accounts in a day. It's less work. You know? You don't prioritize people, only wiring 3. Yeah, it might be the fit. No, it's because this is a more specialized thing. This is kind of a specialized thing. It has to be from this account, unfortunately. So the main thing is this, right? I'm in another city. If I was in Houston, when I've done enough business with the Houston branch that they would just fine for me, right? Or they would just force me to go over their break. I think I've like 10 lines. Yeah, 10. Wait, I'm not muted. What? Oh.
Sorry, Rob. Go ahead. I'll be right back. I'm not here. Well.
I love the RM2705. I need to read the text message I got from Richard Mill to make sure that they're not actually just low-key saying, what watch do you want? I would be honored to be allocated a 2705. Like, I'd be so happy. Like, you have no idea. Like, I would be incredibly elated. And the timing couldn't have been better. I'm about to free up, you know, 900 grand almost. You know? Guys, if I was wearing my straw Chinaman hat, do you think I'd get better service? I feel like I might. 999 World. You don't get a watch like this to tell the time. You get a watch like this to remind yourself how rich you are. And to occasionally remind other people as well. Okay? It's different. Alright? It's different. If you're gonna wear G-Shock, it better be fucking diamond out. It better be diamond out. This is the cheapest RM that I own. This is me slumming it. If I get robbed in this, I don't feel as bad.
We went to the retina specialist because Joyce has macular degenerative disease in her eye. She's kept on her glasses before, so we had to go to the optometrist. Make them fix her glasses.
Be mesmerized. You know what? When I get to the car, I'm gonna use my new. I'm about to wear my smiley when I get in the car. Yeah, the earlier one was the sapphire, I think. I'm doing a custom skull ring with David Ehrman. They like me a lot. They let me design pieces. Isn't that cool? They're so cool for that. David Ehrman thinks I'm a big baller because I met Evan Ehrman, and now I can design any piece I want from them. It's actually pretty cool. Here, I can show you some notes. There's a nice one. Honestly, Dad Ash, Cartier tank. Get the one that first ladies get. It's like $3,000, and what it says is, I have taste, I'm classy, but I don't want to show off. Let me see. Honestly, Cartier is always the hack for guys or for girls. I think it looks a little bit effeminate on guys, but it's still fine. You know? Something like this. Honestly though, I will say this, okay? Normally I wouldn't say that because I hate the cliche, oh, this thing, buy this thing to be classy. But I keep seeing it again and again. Like, people who are interesting keep gravitating to Cartier. And if you think about it, even though the watch might be kind of basic, Cartier has been around for a long time and they've done a lot of crazy things. They were literally the jewelers to royalty in old Europe. Right? So it's actually pretty impressive. And here's the thing, right? A lot of fashion icons wear it. Tom Ford used to wear Cartier before he tried to launch his own watch. Ralph Lauren used to wear Cartier before he tried to launch his own watch, right? Andy Warhol wore Cartier. Kanye wears Cartier, right? Like, all of these people who are in the arts, or even first ladies, right? Like, Cartier is like incredibly incredibly, it's basically, a stealth wealth sign, because it's fairly low key and, all that jazz. And obviously you don't have to get it in gold. Right? Princess Diana wore one. Right? Like, you can go as low as this. And that's a new one. If you bought this secondhand, from a gray market dealer, it probably costs like $2,500 to $3,000. Yeah, I love the sapphire. Yeah, I mean, like, a bunch of the women's, I think Michelle Obama wears this one in a slightly different configuration. It's not terrible. See, it's nice without going over the top, and it makes it look like you have a lot of firepower in reserve. You're choosing to be subtle and low-key, and evoke classic elegance. I've even considered getting the guy's version of the Tank or the Century. It is a classy watch. There are moments when it just makes more sense to be, like, part of the pack, but in a good way, Yeah, I own the Bill Gates Casio. He's not the only one either. I think they're trying to push the new Tourbillon, and apparently they announced a watch today. I look at my phone. If someone asks how rich am I look at my watch. It's different, Look, you don't look at your Fitbit for time, okay? Get off my... Oh my God. That's crazy. Oh, I got a rainbow. It's a good watch. Oh boy. Are Ice and them heading out yet? Sorry to make them wait. It depends on what you mean by made possible. Listen, life can only go one way, right? What I mean by that is you can only live, in the present with an eye to the future. You can't live in the past, right? And so no matter how confident a person is, you actually don't know the counterfactual. You don't know the counterfactual. And you can never really say what would have happened if something else happened, because you don't know what follow-on things would have happened due to the other choice. In theory, I could have gotten richer if I hadn't met Kate, or I'd be a lot poorer. It could go either way. Just to be realistic, though, because of where we are, I think it's not probabilistic that it'd be more. So then I wouldn't have a sapphire, right? Also wouldn't have a sapphire because part of the reason why was because of how crazy the story was during the home invasion. I mean, it's an impossible question to answer. Both yes and no are perfectly fine. You know? I mean, literally, you need an eyeblow seed if I won the lottery. You see, it's probabilistically possible, right? And if you're looking at the balance of all things that can happen, it's obviously a factor, but a fringe one. And you see, the thing is, though, like, and this always rubs people the wrong way. Like, you guys have no idea what would have happened, you know, nor do I. It's Bruce Lee in what do you call it? A Game of Death. My main source of income is trophy husband. Okay. This isn't gonna get interesting for another 20 minutes. Yeah, absolutely. I could have left the investment bank, gone to a hedge fund, you know, there's a bunch of ways. Bunch of ways. Oh, it's cute. Tattoo learning about the Alamo. It's got chapstick. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. Oh, you know? I've heard of it. Oh, I've heard of it. Yeah, I've heard of it. Go check out domain it's like an outdoor mall. So I have designers.
How do you get a loan? I mean, it's not easy. There's a lot of checks that go into that, right? Loans are not easy, bro. Oh, I heard a watch guy conversation.
Check out the domain next time. You'll like it.
I heard a little bit of watch guy combo.
You'll like that one for sure. You like shopping? You like school?
Do you do it yourself or do you have somebody do it?
No, we don't like that. Move on.
It's a messy situation, okay? If you're talking about 2022, basically, was she lying in the sense of, like, did she make it up as a stunt? No. Right? Would I dispute the veracity of some of the claims and the way that they were framed? Yes. I don't think, like, I'm a particularly easygoing person. But a lot of it comes down to a miss on communication styles. Because the way I treated most things was like, you know, as an Olympic coach or essentially like your workout buddy, right? If before the workout you tell me, I want you to push me, you know, and really see, you know, where the limits are, right? Well, then I'm going to be yelling and hollering and trying to get you to squeeze out one more rep, right? Like, you know, and I'm just going to assume that any kind of, you know, exasperation during, you know, the struggle of doing something is just like venting, right? Because for me it is, right? I'll be like, oh, I don't want to do this. But like, I actually do want to do it. You know what I'm saying? For me, basically, the real conversations were being had in the calm moments. And I took that as the roadmap. For her, she was trying to be aspirational in the calm moments. And in the bad moments was when she was actually communicative of what she meant. But if I do the opposite, I'm going to assume she is the opposite as well, right?
Do you like Boston or? I love So, but it's pretty close.
That would be patently wrong, Zeus, because one of the first things I said when I started streaming was that I love, the chat collective IQ. It's generally higher. The bigger the group, it tends to go a little higher. No, it wasn't that at all. The real story is incredibly complex. Okay? Basically, I was running all the back end for her, and she was perfectly happy. And we were making like $2 million a month, right? And then she wanted me to use the know-how and the connections that we had then in the industry to basically scale out an agency. Okay? And so I did that, right? And for like 72 days, I slept on average 3 hours or less, right? Doing that. And we were having an incredible amount of success. And then on her end, stuff was falling through the cracks. Calls were getting missed, things were being done suboptimally on the running of account side, and things were done very suboptimally on the stream planning side, right? Again, I used to be part and party to all these processes. They weren't my job, but I would, kind of weigh in and look in. And the agreement we had was, if I go and run this agency, I will be able to help out less with the core business, right? And so she has to basically be able to maintain the core business for it to even make sense for me to start this agency. And so the agreement was like, the line in the sand was like, okay, at this revenue figure, we have to fold the agency, and I'm just going back to doing what I used to do. And so she went below that threshold, but the agency was doing fantastically. And so then I said, I'm gonna leave, and fold that operation to go do her stuff again. And then she was basically like, that's fine, but you can't fold the agency. I was like, you don't understand. It may be going well, but it becomes Lord of the Flies really fucking fast without adult supervision. She didn't believe me, and it led to the mother of all fights. Because to me, I was like, we had an agreement here. You can't just go in and modify it. And I had a good reason. I knew the agency was going to lose money if I abandoned it in that moment. Right? Because I'm the principal there. It's my money being spent. It's my money being made. And so you need an owner level mentality at a new operation like that with 23 employees. Okay? Yeah, mixing marriage with business is a terrible idea. Right? And it was in the impasse of she wouldn't shutter the agency since it was technically in her name. But, to me, it's like, we're just going to lose money there, and it's a distraction. It's another opportunity for bad PR if we do it badly. There's a lot of downside, And that was the genesis of that fight. And so in it, like, I would say patently, a lot of it was just factually incorrect. Like when she said I forced her to do things. Never. That is a straight lie. Never, ever. In fact, I was sensitive to the fact that even me suggesting things would be pressure, so that at that point in time, when I was canceled, I had not weighed in on OF stuff for over a year. I'm not even on that, team. Like, we have a team that does it, And I wasn't even part of the team anymore, of that team. Right? So, no, I have no oversight. Like, I don't even know what you're doing. How the fuck did I, pressure you, right? That's A. B is financial control. That also didn't happen. And the best that she can defend that with is that she didn't understand. You see, I'm very fair. I didn't have to be this fair. But I don't hold secret crypto accounts, and every bank account that I've ever made for us is a joint account. So when she says I won't let her spend money, I didn't take her credit cards. She has all her cards. I can't stop her other than using my words and logic. Like, I can say, hey, that's not a good idea. But that's not control, because you can still force the action if you really wanted to, but she never wanted to force the action because she didn't. You get what I'm saying? She was a joint equal member. She could take all the money out of the account tomorrow. I can't stop her. Right now, if she beat me to the bank in town, she could withdraw all 3.2. I can't stop her. And she had all her cards, all her passwords, and so financial control is impossible. It's impossible. Okay? Gift tax. Right? And then, I hate to say this, but like, if I actually explained to you what she meant, y'all would think it's very juvenile, right? It goes like this, okay? I am constantly the voice of reason around being responsible with finances. And I just think it's good practice. It's kind of like how I talked about the coupons. For me, I'm way past coupons. Like, just to be honest, I'm way past coupons. And since I'm not probably having kids, I don't see the need to instill behaviors in other people. And so coupons makes no sense. But here's what does make sense to me. Budgeting. I think no matter how rich you are, you should always track what money is leaving. I think it's just smart, right? Oh, we have so much money. Why does it matter? No. It always matters. And then, as if to prove my point perfectly, the moment, like the week after she complained that way, we found out that someone was using her credit card without her knowing. That was like literally fate's way of being like, and you're right. You see what I'm saying? You could be totally responsible, but if you don't have a handle on what's going out, you're never going to catch someone using a card. They're just going to live like a little roach forever. So you have to know, right? Because if you don't know, then you can't even catch stuff like that. I've never asked her to keep her spending below a certain threshold. I've only asked, what do you think it'll be, right? Just so I can track expectation versus reality, But no financial control, zero, right? And then the third lie was that, I have never, this is a categorical never, in my life, I'm almost 37, right? I have never in my life asked anyone to wear less clothing. Ever. Ever. Never, ever. It has never happened. Not one time. Not as a joke. Never. In fact, and this is the part that makes me fucking nearly have a heart attack in that moment. If we're going to talk about my request for her wardrobe, it has historically, even at 2022, been only that I would ask her to wear more clothing. That's right. Dobby's a free elf, but I never even told her to wear less. I only told her to wear more. So if you wanted to go free elf, you gotta go other direction, buddy. Right? If she had said, he sometimes made me wear more clothes, it's like, yep, that's true. That is true. And I didn't make, I would just strongly request. Right? No, I already told you that. I said there's no implication, there's no implied, there's no joking. I've never said that. I've never said that. You have to understand, I don't understand women's clothing at all. I don't know what articles look good, but they're actually insecure in terms of like, because like she used to do a lot of active categories. I don't know which items of clothing are risky when you're moving around. And so because I don't know that, I don't weigh in. Just like with tech, I don't weigh in. I have no input. I know when I know nothing, and I don't have an opinion. Okay? Thanks, I'm glad I've grown on you. I'm telling you, those three, not true. Okay? And then the fourth thing, which is the only thing I think she would contest potentially, is I never threatened her dog. Her whole point on that, okay? Hello? Oh. Her whole point on that was basically that she heard me say that night on the phone, so that would be the first time. Which is already like, wait, that's not the picture that was painted, right? That's not the picture that was painted. That night would have been the first instance of me saying it ever, right? And then there's one previous instance where we had a, have you seen those anti-burglary those anti-burglary sticks where you wedge it between the doorknob and the floor, right? Well, one time when she was, threatening to, leave, right? Like with Knox, and Bear at the time, right? I said, fine, you want to leave? And so I grabbed that stick, pull it out, because otherwise you can't open the door. And then I opened the door wide for her, and I'm standing there with the door open, holding the stick. Okay? I'm like, leave. I didn't think anything of it. But she took that as me brandishing the stick. Look, I'll allow it, but I'm pretty sure all the context clues would point to the fact that that was not what I was doing. But I will allow that one. So that would be the contestable one. Okay?
Hello. ¿Quién necesita?
Sí.
¿Los dos?
Oh boy, we're gonna go over 2, aren't we? Hopefully not. Obviously she showed a bunch of text messages that were unhinged. My understanding was that she had screenshotted those and then put them into a photo, and she was showing that through there. But I could be wrong. But the texts that she showed were true, but obviously you're only seeing one side of the combo, right? She would claim that she deleted her side of the combo for brevity, to be able to see more on the same page. While that is technically true, and then she would say, well, there's no context that justifies it anyways. Partly true. I'll give her that. But like basically, I have said things. I don't think it's that crazy. Like when I'm angry, I'm like, if you don't care about the money, I might as well donate it all to like a pigeon rescue place. I'll say shit like that. Again, I would maintain it's not financial control because she could send it somewhere else before I could send it there. Right? There's like nothing stopping that. But like that's true. And then if I'm being very, very stark, so when she got angry at me and she was streaming, sometimes she would ignore my texts. Okay? And the way I would get her to look at the text, if it was really important, and this is unhinged, I'll grant that. is I would say something obscene and then be like, now that I have your attention, here's the actual message.
We also like to do credit cards. We have credit cards to give to the offering. You pay on credit. That's why I'm trying to do.
Okay. And you might be like, well, why do you have to reach her? Right? Why do you have to reach her? The reason is because if, like, for instance, back then this used to be a really serious thing. If there was potentially someone who's, you know, looking for her, right? We're talking during IRL streams. If there's someone looking for her, like in person, right? As has been the case before, okay? Because stalkers, right? Then you would need to let her know immediately. Doesn't matter, you gotta cut through all of it, right? And be like, yo, get out of there. If I'm not close by, right? That's one. The other one is if she's going to, let's say, a party after TwitchCon, as was the case in this case, and a bunch of banned streamers are going to show up and crash the party, which would get her banned. And so I thought it was imperative to reach her. Okay? And so I said a lot of unhinged things to get her attention, to get that message through. You know? Again, the idea was to not get banned. Right? So, like, her stuff, it's not all untrue, but if you look at the parts that news media focused on, the big three were not true. Right? With the fourth one, I guess you'd call it the big four, that one is like asterisk, I'll grant enough of it. Right? Her thing that I threatened her dog. Right? The dialogue came from the night of. That night was the first time I had said that, according to her. Okay? And then, at a previous time, when she had threatened to leave, what I thought I was doing was I was grabbing the barricade thing, because that's the anti-burglary thing, and opening the door and being like, go right ahead. Be my guest. Leave. Right? She would say that I'm brandishing that stick. I would argue that that is one of the dumbest things to brandish, because it's not. It's a stick with a spring in it to create, you know, it's physics, right? If you have a door and then you have a stopper, there's so much more resistance needed to move it, right? And it's just basically a long stick with a spring in it. Okay? I don't even think that's the most effective weapon. It's like hitting someone with a pogo stick. You know? We own baseball bats and stuff, dude. Like what? Golf clubs. We have tennis rackets. All of that's better than a fucking pogo stick, essentially. You know? With rubber on the ends. I used to be decent, but I haven't played in years. So, you know, like I said, but you know, to her credit now, to her credit, okay, 3 days after the cancellation, she wanted to go live to correct the record. And I told her, do not. Do not. I stopped the record correction. Do you want to know why? And you'll see this on the Botez's new podcast. I stopped it, assuming it doesn't get edited out. I stopped her from correcting it because I didn't think it would do anything. Think about it for a second, okay? At this point, 100 million people have seen that I threaten dogs and abuse my wife. Are we really going to be able to walk that one back? Are we? Use your brain. No, you can't walk that back. There's no walking that back. Okay? It's Humpty Dumpty. Okay? Humpty Dumpty fell off the fucking wall. Humpty Dumpty can be duct taped together, but he's donezo. Okay? You can't even see, y'all are all talking about different things. Yeah, exactly. If she went live 3 days later to do that, it would sound like she's being turned into a marionette. Okay? Open the door content. And so, but then, so why not try anyways, right? The reason I didn't want her to try anyways is because I believe it would have accelerated what ended up happening anyways, which is that the internet would turn against her.
I saw that card.
No, they turned against her for different reasons. See, this is how you know the woke crowd is bullshit. All of the girls that supported her during the abuse scandal continued to support her until she made the trans comment. Suddenly, now they believe my version or an alternate version that we both are shitty and we both lie about things. Previously, it was like, believe women, whatever they say. 100% what Amouranth said is true. Then after Kate allegedly came out against trans, they're like, Amouranth is a liar. You see how fucking shallow the agendas are? Are you my ally? If you're not, then nothing you say matters. One should have no effect on the other, right? But anyways, ended up turning against her over the years anyways. But I thought 3 days into that event was the worst time. Because then you instantly lose, her. She would lose all her credibility, all her ability to talk to people and do things, right? All her connections. And what would I gain? Nothing. They're just the people who want to use this ammunition against me will still use it against me, right? And then the people who want, I'm saying that it would achieve nothing. I'm saying that it would achieve nothing. Because if we made that statement 3 days after, they would rip her to shreds, right? And I wouldn't gain any more reputational repair. But if I fall on the sword and just bear the cross, so to speak, then she would at least be a victim, and then there would be no amount of ostracization or prejudice against her, right? So, basically, y'all get it, right? I hope that makes sense to you. I try to be pretty fair with my telling of it. I think I've pretty fairly represented it. The 3 points I think are unrefutable, right? And then the one that I even gave her a huge leeway of fine, if you misheard me on the phone call, and then you combine it with the previous instance of me grabbing the stick, opening the door. Because here's the thing, right? If I was threatening to hit her dog with the stick, then explain why I opened the door. That didn't make no sense. That didn't make no sense. If I just wanted to grab a weapon nearby, so why open the door? You see what I'm saying? I think I could defend that one pretty easily. But I'll give it to her.
But at least I would know, hey, this
I'll give it to her. Okay. Now I would like to bring y'all's attention to a newer episode, which I highly don't condone. And normally it would be grounds alone for the D word for me. But I am allowing and maintaining that there was a lot of emotional turmoil after the event, and she had PTSD from it. And I've seen in other places where it clearly doesn't benefit her that she would act that way, and so I believe that that's what it is. I've never slapped or beaten her. I've never laid a hand on her. Do y'all remember when, during the more recent round of fighting in May, she said I coerced her into signing contracts? That was a maneuver spun by her lawyer. And she did it because she wanted to farm it as evidence, even though I would argue that her saying a claim and me refuting it can never be evidence, because it's what would have happened anyways in the courtroom. Like, what's the evidence of that you made a claim? That you said a thing before? But it is good for the lawyer because now he has some dumb piece of useless evidence to spend billable hours on, right? He can file motions that aren't going to work. Someone asked the question. Okay. I do like the RM69. I wish I had that one. But do you get what I'm saying? There's 400 of y'all. There's a chance that some of y'all remember this and be able to be lore masters of it. Okay? Well, it was between me and her until a lot of it got streamed, and I would argue at that point it left the surly bonds of privacy. I'm not talking shit, I'm just correcting the record.
Are you okay with waiting till 3:30 or no?
That's fine, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So as soon as she gets done with him, she'll help you.
Wait, so they're gonna be doing it for an hour.
Yeah, because that's her 2 o'clock. So she's working with him, and then as soon as she gets done.
If she finishes early, can I?
Yeah.
Oh,
as
okay.
soon as she gets done, she'll help you.
Okay, sure. Yeah, that works. No, it's just that's the latest. An hour and a half is the latest. It's not going to be an hour and a half. But yes, at this point, it would have been quicker to drive back to Houston, wire it, and come back. Alex, it's not even a rug. It's a throw. I know. We're gonna have to get our own champagne after this. What am I, Bruce Wayne, just by the bank? But do you guys get it now? This is why I felt maligned during the previous instance. Like, for her to say on stream that I coerced her into contracts is so insane. That has never happened. That's another one of those. Never have I ever, nor insinuated, nor joked. Are you kidding me? In fact, what I would challenge her would have been, name the one. Name one of them where you were coerced. Which one? Oh, wait. It doesn't exist. The limit does not exist. You get what I'm saying? I'm allowing everything that can be allowed to be counted as factual, but when it has never happened, I cannot really overlook that. It has never happened. There's no joke. There's no misunderstanding. It's just never happened. You know? I would take guys shopping, but where we're going, there is no shopping, I think. If I could live anywhere, either New York or California, if we ignore tax rates and governance, it is not cut at all. I went to the biggest branch there was nearby. Sure. So, Snowy, San Antonio isn't a target city. It's not New York or LA or Miami now. And all these banks are looking to create more margin for themselves, right? And they do so by having less bankers and pushing everyone towards an appointment model. Okay? And so there's two because they have a full day of appointments, and that's all they book in a day because it's margin. It makes sense though, right? It's a stupid way over the long term, and I feel like something will correct that at some point. But why would you not, in essence, pass the cost along to your customer? If they hire 3 people, it's 3 salaries, and the customer benefits by having less wait time. But if they can do 2 and have the customer have more wait time, but people don't switch, then why not? The customer will pay for it. And that's what's happening here. So, yeah, I mean, it's just basically banks realized how powerful they are because of how much of a pain it is to switch your shit. Bill pay, automatic deposits, it's a lot of pain. And they rely on that pain point to prevent you from making a rash decision. And it's working, even in my case. I'm gonna wait, time already waited, including time to this guy being done, at least another 20-30 minutes. And am I gonna switch? Probably not right now, but you better believe that slowly everything is gonna move to Chase and the other places. Build them the hourly. I don't want to say until ICE has announced it, even though I kind of have an idea of the road. Yeah, we're gonna follow him. I just have to do this wire. I've already told ICE. He's gonna send me the location once they've decided, and then we'll be right behind them. Y'all need battery. No, 2.95 million. I'm a private customer at JP Morgan. They wouldn't make me wait. So you might be like, why didn't you go to JP Morgan? Well, certain things are easier to take care of in the same account, especially as they pertain to write-offs, if you know what I mean. Oh my God, I'm ready. It's us, it's us. Hello, how's it going? Thank you.